Hi there, it's Sarah Wayne, and today's video I am doing a follow-up to the last video I made where I began to share some of my story into how I became a healer and a little bit of that transformation. So I want to go deeper into my own personal healing and how I work with clients. So just to recap a bit, if you haven't seen the last video, I recommend going to see the part one first and then watching this one. But initially, when I was having a wake-up call, knowing that I needed to make big changes in my life, I sort of glossed over the idea that I was really sick. In addition to the physical pain, I also was told by several doctors that I had cancer. I was told that I may have fibromyalgia, to be tested for MS, multiple sclerosis, and pre-diabetic. There was a whole list of things that people were telling me was wrong with me. And I'm a bit stubborn. I have a very strong will, for those who know me personally. And when I decide something and make up my mind, it's a done deal. And I had made up my mind that I would not be sick, that I was not going to subscribe to that. I had watched my grandmother, when I was about 8 years old, pass away from cancer. And that was very traumatic for me. And when I heard the word from the doctors telling me that that may be something I had, I immediately knew everything had to change and I was going to commit fully to whatever it took to heal my body. So that process really was a deep, deep discovery. It wasn't just like, oh, I figured out a few things and then I felt better. I mean, it took me a good decade to really come back to myself uh, with all the work I did and different modalities, acupuncture, shamanic healing, nutrition, cleansing, detoxing, chiropractic. I mean, there was just a whole list of things that I did. Some of it worked better than others. Some of it I still do today to really maintain the physical form that I need to maintain. And I really truly believe that we all have our own unique journey into healing our body. I don't believe that one thing that works for someone is going to work for someone else. There's this biochemical individuality that we all have, and we have to discover for ourselves intuitively what is the best thing for our body. And sometimes it does require having a guide. Sometimes we do need someone to help reflect things on us because we can be getting in our own way and actually sabotaging our healing because we're so attached to staying the way we are. We don't even realize how attached we are to it. So with all that, some of the things that I found as I stepped into my work as a nutritionist, I began teaching classes all over the San Francisco Bay Area. I worked at the school that I graduated from. I did different programs for kids, for seniors. I worked with people with all kinds of different health challenges, and I did corporate wellness. There was just a lot of discovering, what worked, what didn't work for me in my journey of helping people heal. And that's ultimately what motivates me. That's ultimately what excites me the most, is seeing people feeling stuck, feeling unhealthy or pain, and helping them discover for themselves their unique gifts so that they are excited about taking the next step and healing their body and then moving into the work and doing what they're meant to be doing in the world. And so as I was in the nutrition field for a while, I began to get really frustrated with making meal plans or taking people through cleanse programs and teaching different workshops when they wouldn't actually do what they needed to do to get better or to feel better or to lose the weight or to heal whatever health issues they had. And it really frustrated me because I would give them the things that would really help and support them, yet they didn't do it. Some people did. Some people actually really took action and had great results. But it was the people who had this resistance where they would say to me over and over again, I know I'm supposed to do it. I know that would have helped, but I didn't do it. This got in the way, or whatever the excuse was. And so I began to be more fascinated with mindset and how to shift the beliefs about what's possible, about what we do, about who we are. And that's when my journey into neuroscience, I was fascinated, have still fascinated with quantum physics and just how we are in this quantum field affecting and shaping reality. And it's also something that I am naturally designed to be aware of. It's, so another thing that I also had experienced growing up was I would hear people's thoughts before they spoke. I would see energy around people. I would feel things that I didn't quite understand. They didn't seem like my body. I would feel really happy and excited to go somewhere, and then I would enter the room and all of a sudden feel very contracted and have all these thoughts that didn't seem like mine going through my head. So I was extremely open energetically and an empath. And as I have I would say, as I have gone through training, as I have honed my skills and learned to really hold a space for all the energy that I pick up on and tune into, I have become more masterful about using that awareness to support people in the information or helping to move the energy or give the guidance that's actually going to be the most effective, give them the most effective result in the next moment. And so that really helped me step into my work more as an intuitive healer. I still use nutrition. I still think it's such a valuable and very important piece to it. It's just one piece. And then looking at the mind and how we are giving gravity to beliefs and realizing that they may actually not be serving us, and how to shift out of that, how to actually change a belief permanently. There's a lot of practices people do where, saying mantras or affirmations and they still don't see results. And what I found is because the old belief is still really trapped within them. So you can say all the things that sound great, but if you don't internally transform it, then it's like kind of just putting an extra layer of something that doesn't feel true on yourself. So I created a process called the belief shift formula. And the belief shift formula is a somatic practice that actually extracts the old belief, creates a new belief, and allows you to integrate with that new belief so that you begin in the next moment to operate from that perspective. So powerful, game changer. It's one of the most effective, exciting things that I have been able to share with my clients over the last, it's been about 8 years, I think, since I started discovering how to do that process. Very intuitively, it was like a download of information of how to take people through this process. And it's evolved over time. And sometimes it's a little different depending on who's in front of me. But in general, there's a specific way that you can shift beliefs. And I do teach that in my integration formula. There's a course that I have for 5 weeks, and that takes you through that process of really transforming your life. And so throughout my journey, throughout that process of seeing how I worked with people, came about this integration formula. And it's 5 phases. I will share a link to that somewhere here in the description. But it essentially is looking at your present state, presence, developing a practice of presence, being in the now in a way that's fully activated. And then the second phase is your beliefs, and looking at what beliefs are running the show, really identifying what's holding you back, and then going through a process of actually letting the belief go and creating one that's more preferred. There's also phase 3, which is purify. I believe that we need to detoxify, cleanse our bodies on a regular basis. And it looks very different for all kinds of people because of our situation, our just our circumstances with our body, our health. So it's important to be intuitive about it. And I do teach practices for becoming more intuitive, which is in the presence phase. And Also getting guidance for where you feel that would be supportive, and whether it is a cleanse or a detox, whether it's taking supplements, whether it's releasing people from your life or releasing items and environments from your life, right? There's different levels of how you cleanse and detoxify to purify your system, your mind, your reality. And then the fourth phase is abundance. And abundance is really the concept I see of it is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Being in the state of allowance that you are fully supported. You have an abundance of health, an abundance of wealth, relationships, support. And that is a frequency. I have found that that is a very specific frequency to access, or state of being, you could say. It's a state of being. And when you access that state of being, you're so much more open to unlimited potential and the possibilities that you couldn't see before. And then phase 5 is manifestation. And this has been my favorite place to play with people, is really creating a vision that you want to step into and doing it masterfully, doing it intentionally with tools that actually work. I have done many manifestation practices. Some worked better than others. It does take guidance. It does take focus. Some people are more naturally better at it than others to manifest what they prefer. Now, we're always manifesting, and I want to make sure that's very clear. We're always manifesting, but whether it's what you want or what you don't want, that's the question. So that is another insight into my story, how I became immersed in this work, and what I do with people that I work with. So I hope that you found this useful, supportive in some way. And if you have questions, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment or just let me know what you think. All right, till next time. Bye for now.